To think about as you pour milk in your kids' cereal every morning. The dairy industry wants approval to use artificial sweeteners to flavor dairy products, sweeteners like the ones that are used in diet sodas.
Now, the dairy industry is actually lobbying the FDA to change their rules.
Tom Murray is here with a couple of props to explain why they want to do that. Tom.
Yeah, Mike, Carol, what we're talking about is using the same sweeteners like you'd find in diet soda, aspartame and others like sucralose, things that you would find in Equal or in Splenda, exactly, and using them to flavor chocolate milk. Now, right now, the FDA only allows sweeteners that are natural, like high fructose corn syrup, like sugar, to sweeten chocolate milk. And the reason this is happening is because a lot of parents have been reluctant to buy chocolate milk because it is so high in sugar. They have some cafeterias have pulled it off the shelf. So the dairy industry, this is their response, saying if you sweeten it with aspartame or sucralose, then it doesn't have the same number of calories. The kids get to keep the taste. But obviously there are a lot of health concerns about some of these artificial sweeteners. We got somebody on Skype today from the dairy industry in Washington and asked him about these health concerns. Here's what she had to say.
We have to rely on the best science available, and the Food and Drug Administration has very, very thoroughly reviewed sweeteners and ingredients that are safe. And we use that as the basis in the food industry as the first information for, is it safe and suitable to be used in food? The Food and Drug Administration is the one agency that's looking into that very carefully.
So the dairy industry's argument is that the FDA says that these artificial sweeteners are safe, so therefore they must be safe to include in milks like chocolate milk, strawberry milk, banana milk. There's all kinds of flavors. Sure. But we also went to an expert at Marquette University today and asked about whether or not that's indeed true. And this was interesting. She says that the studies that are done on these artificial sweeteners are almost always done on adults, and there's very little testing done on kids. Here's what she had to say.
A lot of these FDA-approved chemicals or drugs or food supplements are tested on adults. They're very rarely tested in children, and so we're not very clear to say that what happens in the adults would certainly be the same thing that happens in children. They may respond and react to it altogether differently, and then you have to add the additional years that children would have the opportunity to consume this for the rest of their lives. So they're adding another 10 or 20 years to their normal lifespan of exposing themselves to this particular chemical.
And now the dairy industry says that it would be labeled clearly if they are using artificial sweetener, but it's not like it's going to say aspartame chocolate milk on the label. You'd have to look somewhere on the back to find that.
It is, a bit of a dilemma because there's great concerns about childhood obesity among parents and the medical community, very concerned about that. So they want to get away from the sugar content, but now the question is, all right, what about the chemical content?
Right, and the question is, can the body, especially young bodies, really break down those sugars? Yeah. If you want to comment, we've put a link to the FDA's comment section that they will look at as they make their decision on whether or not to allow the dairy industry to make this change. That's on our website, TMJ4.com.
It's going to be very interesting. Yeah. A lot of people are very concerned about what we're putting in our body, especially with chemicals. Tom, thank you very much.
Well, coming